The clerk will open the roll. All those votes.
California lawmakers approved a new set of carve-outs from the state's fast food labor law that's been at the center of controversy.
Several thousand fast food workers have organized collectively across California.
Democratic Assemblyman Chris Holden pushed for those carve-outs for major fast food chains in airports, hotels, casinos, convention centers, museums, arenas, and college campuses. Holden noted those workers already have collective bargaining agreements that include benefits and better pay than the $20 an hour minimum wage that goes into effect in April. Sources who spoke to KCRA3 on the condition they remain anonymous told us those exemptions were the direct result of the use of non-disclosure agreements in the making of that labor law last summer. The Service Employees International Union, also known as SEIU, required them with the fast food industry during negotiations. The law was fast-tracked in the last 3 days of the legislative session. Other unions representing the workers exempted Monday were left out of that main negotiating table and did not know they'd be roped into the law until it was too late.
I can't comment on NDAs, but I can say that at the end of last session, it was clear that for a particular labor organization who represents working families, that this was going to limit their ability, and there was nothing that we wanted to do in the bill to limit the ability for bargaining.
Was that group Unite here? Did they express to you that they were left out of the negotiations at all?
No, they did not indicate that they were. I mean, I think a lot of times, this process happens. Not everyone maybe, is following it as it's happening.
Republicans did not criticize the specific carve-outs, but raised flags about the secrecy surrounding the negotiations of the law. State lawmakers have said they were not at all involved in negotiations, and the governor's office led it all.
The process that happened last year stinks. It's not legislation. When all the negotiations happen behind closed doors and there's not transparency. And when the governor is the one directing.
Please keep your comments to the merits of the bill.
We have a serious problem. That's not transparency. That's not how this is supposed to happen.
Now, those new carve-outs are now on the governor's desk and go into effect immediately with his signature.
So obviously we got a clear explanation today about the new carve-outs from state lawmakers, but the question still remains, originally, what was the reason behind the original carve-out for
the bakeries, right?
Yeah,
right.
The restaurants with these bakeries. We still, what's with that?
Still nothing. We've gotten nothing official for an official reasoning behind it from the governor's office. And while the Newsom administration denies that carve-out applies to Panera Bread, it is not said who it's exactly there for. It is written in the law. We should note that we have a growing number of sources close to that negotiating table that said that this was always referred to as the Panera exemption behind closed doors. And I will also note that Greg Flynn, that billionaire donor that we continue to refer to, who's also a Panera franchisee, he has said that he'll pay his workers $20 an hour to go with what goes into effect in April. But this law goes until 2029 with new protections, new pay raises. He has not said if that's what he's going to comply with moving forward. So we'll see.
Right. And bigger than this one particular bill, just good work, because again, as we're seeing, this is not the way I think most people expect our bills to be made.
Right.
It's in a democracy, we expect more transparency.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.